This is the Polestar O2, the company's new drop-top sports car concept. Its job is to be the best, most exciting, most emotive product the company might one day develop.
The O2 is a hardtop convertible which is based on the same platform as the Precept concept, which has now gone on to become the Polestar 5 in production form. The name O2, in case you're wondering, signifies oxygen, which shows this car's very close connection to the air around us. It doesn't have any tailpipes, it doesn't contribute to pollution, and also because it's a convertible, it gives a very close connection between the driver and passengers and the air that we breathe.
Clearly, they've thought long and hard about the design because the O2 is gorgeous to look at, as was the Precept. This, though, is a low, wide sports car with a long wheelbase. In an industry that seems to have a preference to churn out derivative electric crossovers and SUVs, this is very much in a class of its own.
And there are some notable similarities between the O2 and the Precept, particularly with these dual blade LED lights, which look very similar to the arrows on the Polestar logo, here finished in body color. You might have noticed there is a passing resemblance to the Thor's hammer LED you find on Volvos, except here the elements are separated by a layer of body color, which symbolizes Polestar and Volvo moving in their own separate directions. This area down here is what's called the Smart Zone, and this is what houses the car's various sensors to facilitate level 4 autonomous driving and the various driver assistance systems. So they include things like cameras and radar. The rest of the car is almost completely smooth at the front, apart from what I'd call a set of air curtains at the side, which contribute to the car's overall aerodynamic efficiency, and this quite delightful pinstripe at the lower edge, which runs the entire circumference of the car.
From the side, it's incredibly sleek. With the metal folding hardtop in place, it has a dramatic sloping roof that arrows downwards almost diagonally, incorporating an LED charge meter on the C-pillar. There's the familiar Polestar technical writing on the side, hinting at Polestar's new bonded aluminium chassis. It has a set of highly technical looking 22-inch wheels, behind which you'll find the same Akebono brakes supplied on the Polestar 1. But that's not this car's only party trick. Polestar has imagined that the O2 could come with an integrated drone. Push a button on the screen, and this drone could deploy along a landing strip before taking off to capture pictures and videos as you drive. Once its flight is complete, it could land and allow you to edit that footage on the car's display for sharing on social media. Unlikely? Yes. Cool? Absolutely.
Okay, let's take a look at the back. So the area above the wheel arch is super muscular, as you might expect from a sports car. It really does look the part. As for the back end itself, it's fairly minimalist, but I do love the way the material curves just underneath these rear lights and just above the bumper. Obviously, it has no exhaust pipes because it's all electric, but you do get a sense of this car's intended performance levels based on the size of that enormous rear diffuser. The rear lights, very much inspired by the Precept, with a nice thin LED blade running the entire width, and it has these vertical elements on either side which look cool but also provide a useful function. These help to minimize the vortices coming off the back of the car in order to reduce drag. Polestar is very big on sustainability. In fact, they're one of the very few manufacturers who are very open about admitting exactly how much CO2 their cars produce during the manufacturing process, and they suggest that the entire industry needs to get better at making more sustainable cars. What tends to happen is that in most vehicles they use plastic, cloth, leather, and bond all these materials together to create their interiors, which means their interiors aren't very recyclable. But with the O2, Polestar have started using a thermoplastic monomaterial for all of their interior soft touch components, which means all of it is far more recyclable than other cars. And in fact, they have a target of making sure all their cars are entirely carbon neutral by the year 2030. Now, this is a concept, so I can't actually get inside but I can show you around, and it's a great looking interior, isn't it? It's a 2+2, which means you have 2 full-size seats at the front and 2 smaller seats at the back, intended for people who are either children or vertically challenged. But because the car has a nice long wheelbase, there's actually quite a bit of leg room in the front, which means that front passenger seat can be slid quite a ways forward, leaving a little bit of leg room for taller passengers in the rear. As for the rest of it, you've got a nice flat dashboard, flat-topped, flat-bottom steering wheel, floating armrest, floating center console, the vertically oriented tablet display powered by Google, and of course these screens which are connected to the cameras for the wing mirrors. Overall, it's a gorgeous piece of interior design, and it's sustainable too.
Powertrains and batteries are unconfirmed at this stage. It is just a concept after all, and we have no idea if or when Polestar will build the O2. What we do know is that this company has form. When it showed off its Precept concept, that very quickly became the Polestar 5, which is currently in development. Here's hoping then that the O2 follows a similarly speedy path to reality.